Today, we take a look at some pop punk covers of classic rock songs. Let's check it. Punk bands have been known to take popular, commercially successful songs and turn them into punk covers of their own. Whether it's the Punk Goes Pop series, with bands taking pop songs and converting them, or performing one-off covers to show off either their influences or diversity. Sometimes these songs could even become more successful and more popular than the originals. So today, let's look at some. But first, here are some honorable mentions. A Skylar Drive, Separate Ways by Journey. A Skylar Drive covered Journey's Separate Ways, Worlds Apart, off of the 2010 Punko's Classic Rock series. It was one of many songs on that album, and we'll get to some of those later on in this video. Separate Ways was recorded for Journey's Frontiers album and was released as a single on January 3rd, 1983. It peaked at number 8 on 6 consecutive weeks on the Billboard Top 100 and spent 4 weeks on the top number 1 top tracks charts. It's one of my favorite covers from both of those albums, and I like how Skylar Drive adds their own hardcore influence to it. They scream a little in it. They're known to be a semi-synth driven band as well as Journey, so they add both of those influences in there. It's pretty rad. Blink-182's Dead Man's Curve, originally performed by Jan and Dean. Dead Man's Curve is a 1964 hit by duo Jan and Dean, whose lyrics detail a teen street racer gone astray, wrecking their car off of a cliff called Dead Man's Curve. The song reached number 8 in Billboard Top 100 charts and was later revamped by Blink-182 in 1999 for the CBS miniseries Shake, Rattle, and Roll. Mark Hoppus and Tom DeLonge of Blink-182 were cast as Jan and Dean to play the duo in the movie and re-recorded the song Dead Man's Curve for the series. It's kind of awesome to see Blink do something like that, especially a song so old. Panic at the Disco's Bohemian Rhapsody, originally performed and recorded by Queen. Bohemian Rhapsody is a single off of Queen's 1975 album, A Night at the Opera. If you don't know what this song is, then you've probably been living under a rock for the last at least 5 years since they made a Queen biopsy called Bohemian Rhapsody. A lot of people have tried to mimic this cover, but the closest and most awesome I've seen do it right is Panic at the Disco, which I first saw do this live. I was there in the place in Ohio at the 2015 Alternative Press Music Awards, which is now online somewhere, and I'll leave a link to all this stuff in the description below. The band later went on to carry this as a cover when they toured. It's become like kind of a staple. But them first recording at Alternative Press Music Awards kind of took everyone back. Everyone thought they were going to come out and do Sins, but they just crushed it with this Bohemian Rhapsody song. Green Day's We Are the Champions, yet another Queen song. Queen first released this song on their 1977 album, News to the World. It's one of Queen's most popular songs and one of the most recognizable anthems. They played it live for years, and a lot of bands have replicated it over the years. Green Day, like Panic at the Disco, I saw do this on I wasn't there for this one. It was at the Reading Festival in 2004. They did it at the Reading Festival in 2004 originally, and they just blew it away. It was kind of like their, before closing, it was their encore song, one of their encore songs. And they just blew this song out of the water. They've later went on to play this one. It's become a staple. They played live. It's incredible when Green Day does it, because now it's no longer just a 3-piece band of Billy Joe, Trey, and Mike. It's Jason, the rest of the bands, the rest of the band members, and just seeing like a full-on rock band play this song similar to Queen is just amazing to see live. Take Me Home, Country Roads, performed by Me First and the Gimme Gimmes, originally written and performed by John Denver in 1971. Peaking at number 2 on the top 100 Billboard charts, and hanging out there for almost 3 months until it left the top 100 on August 28th, 1971. Me First and the Gimme Gimmes cut this song into a punk/ska cover, I guess you can say that. Me First and the Gimme Gimmes is known for that. Off of their 2008 Have Another Ball album. Me First and the Gimme Gimmes have been known to take anywhere from divas songs to country tunes to pop hits to stuff by the Beatles and turn them into complete punk rock and semi-ska renditions of their former selves. And the way they do it with this song is awesome. I mean, any Gimme Gimme song is great, but this is the one they're most known for. And now, on to the list and stuff. First up is MXPX's Someone to Love Yet another song by Queen, but now it's officially on the list. I'm kind of biased about this one because it's MXPX, and I love MXPX. This song debuted on Queen's 1976 album A Day at the Races. It also appeared on their 1981 compilation album entitled Greatest Hits. MXPX turned this song into their own punk cover and did an amazing job with it on their 2009 album On the Cover 2. They have 2 cover albums. That cover album also saw the release of songs like Punk Rock Girl by the Dead Milkmen and U2's I Will Follow. This MXPX cover album is actually one of my favorite cover albums of all time by any band, so you should definitely check out On the Cover 2. 21 Pilots' Can't Help Falling in Love with You, originally written and performed by Elvis Presley. 21 Pilots completely killed this song, in the best way possible, off of their 2013 EP, Holding On To You. I remember first seeing this on YouTube and thinking, how are they going to make a ukulele sound awesome? And it's been kind of the band's staple ever since. But just seeing how they recorded this song, using the crowd to their advantage, and having a kind of a semi-live recording of the song. If you've ever seen the video, I'll leave a link to the video down below. You have to see it. It's awesome. They use the sound of the buses in the background and the crowd to be a part of the song. This song was originally written by Elvis Presley for his 1961 album, Blue Hawaii. He was also used it for a movie too, I think, of the same name. It's just amazing the way that they took this song and just made it kind of their own thing, and it's still played live by the band. And then they made it almost unique and original. They kind of revamped it from the 1960s. It's just amazing. You've got to see it. Panic at the Disco, again. Carry On My Wayward Son, originally performed by Kansas. This was off of Kansas's 1976 album, Left Overture. And this is kind of a one-off live version that the Panic at the Disco did at a Las Vegas show that was recorded, and it's not some shitty fan quality audio with a phone in the crowd. It's kind of professionally done with cameras and the soundboard. And it's kind of cool to see that when they did this song, it has more than just Brendan Urie in it. It has Panic at the Disco's original drummer. So it's not just Brendan Urie at the disco, it's some of the original members as well. And they just completely crushed this. A big thing for me, always with a band, is that if you're going to replicate a song and it has harmonies in it, you've got to crush the harmonies. And it's Brendan Urie. He's got the voice for it. And the harmonies are definitely a staple in that song. The Almost, performing Free Fallin', originally by Tom Petty. Free Fallin' is the opening track from Tom Petty's debut solo album, Full Moon Fever, which was released in 1989. The song was written by Tom Petty and his writing partner, Jeff Lynne, and also features Lynne on bass and backing vocals in the song. The Almost covered this song off the 2010 Punko's Classic Rock. Told you this one was going to come back. The Almost has always been kind of like an emo, indie, pop punk band. So taking this kind of indie rock song and turning it into something of their own, they do it justice. Again, the harmonies are all there. It's just like a 3-chord song. So it's really hard for someone to mess this up. And I think that I love the Tom Petty version, but I also have the pop punk heart in me. So I like this one a lot better than the original Tom Petty version. It's a little faster, it's got its own little quirks in it, and the band kind of makes it their own thing. If you've never heard a Tom Petty song, you would think that this band wrote it. Real Big Fish's Take On Me, originally performed by the band a-ha. This song is performed and written by Norwegian synth-pop band a-ha, and it was released in 1984. The original version of the song was produced and composed by Tony Mansfield and remixed by John Radcliffe. The second version was remixed and produced by Alan Tarney for the group's debut studio album, Hunting High and Low, which was released in 1985. Real Big Fish covered the song for the movie Basketball. The song was later released on the Basketball soundtrack and international versions on Real Big Fish's album, Why Do They Rock So Hard? If you've ever heard the original a-ha version, it's kind of synth pop, and then Real Big Fish takes it and does a whole ska thing with it. They add horns and all of the parts that are supposed to be keyboards or trumpets and trombones, and it's a Real Big Fish song, man. The Ataris, Boys of Summer. Originally released in 1984 by Eagles, vocalist and drummer Don Henley, with lyrics written by Henley and music produced and written by Mike Campbell, guitarist of Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. The tune was picked up by Ataris in 2003 for their album So Long Historia. The song became their second single when the radio began to play it, and is arguably one of their biggest singles to date. If you listen to both songs side by side, they sound like the same song, but one's better, and it's definitely the Ataris version. I hear more commercial radio. I feel like, could just be a biased opinion, more commercial radio playing the Atari's version over the Don Henley song. I don't know if they're confusing it or if it's intentional, but I like the Atari's version a whole lot better. Punchline's I Want You to Want Me, originally by the band Cheap Trick. This is from Cheap Trick's second album released in 1977 entitled In Color. It was the first single released from that album, but it didn't even chart in the United States. But it's still one of Cheap Trick's most popular songs to date. Punchline's 2012 album, So Nice to Meet You, is where the song appeared on. Punchline appeared on Fox's reality TV show entitled Mobbed, which was hosted by Howie Mandel. The episode aired on April 1st, 2012, where lead singer Steve Sabosley performed the song with the backing Flash Mob. In my opinion, the Punchline version's way better. I've always liked Cheap Trick. They've been a real unique, interesting band to see. I mean, who doesn't want to see a guy who has a guitar with 10 necks on it, or how many does he have? 5, 6, something like that. And my own band has actually covered a couple of their songs. I'm also a huge fan of Punchline. The band has always been kind of like indie rock, pop punk, and they put their own spin on it. They're also a band I can say that whatever they record, it sounds exactly the same live. The band is that good. Bowling for Soup's Melt With You, originally performed by Modern English. It was the second single from Modern English's 1982 album, After the Snow, and appeared on the 1983 film, Valley Girl, Where God a Type. If you haven't heard this song, you've definitely been living under a rock for at least the last 20/30 years. It's been on pretty much everything. It's been in every single montage for every single rom-com film. And has been used in the States for everything from Burger King to Taco Bell to M&M's commercials. And even Jason Mraz took a crack at it on the 51st States movie. My favorite version of the song is by Bowling for Soup, because I love Bowling for Soup, which they recorded for the 2005 movie Sky High, and then later released on their 2005 album Bowling for Soup Goes to the Movies. If you're a Stranger Things fan, it was also in the 2016 first season 1 Stranger Things. Bowling for Soup has always done an amazing job doing covers live. In fact, they do such a great job of performing Stacy's mom live that fans actually think that they wrote the song. Relient K's You're the Inspiration, originally performed and recorded by Peter Cetera of Chicago. This song was written and recorded for Chicago's 14th studio album. 14th studio album. This is only in the 80s. The album was called Chicago 17, which was released in 1984. It was the third single to be released from that album and reached number 3 on the Billboard charts. Relient K took this song and made it their own thing. It's actually better, I think, than the original. They used it for their 2011 album, K is for Karaoke, which also featured songs by Cyndi Lauper, Girls Just Want to Have Fun, and Justin Bieber's Baby. They recorded both of those songs. Relient K has always been a very emo, indie rock, pop punk infused type band. They use a lot of harmonies. They use a lot of melodic lines in their writing and in their music, and to hear them take this song, kind of make it their own, is incredible. Peter Cetera's got an incredible voice, but to hear the guys from Relient K duplicate that and use all the harmonies is incredible. Just listen to it for yourself. Again, all the stuff in the description below. New Found Glory's Iris, originally performed and written by the Goo Goo Dolls. This was originally written for the 1998 film City of Angels, and then the Goo Goo Dolls cut it and released it later on for their 6th studio album, Dizzy Up the Girl. NFG covered this song, and it's probably arguably one of the Goo Goo Dolls' most popular songs, if not their most popular song. New Found Glory took this song and made it a little faster, made it a little more pop punkier like New Found Glory knows how to do with their 2007 cover album, From Your Screen to Your Stereo. This was their number 2, by the way. This was from their second cover album. New Found Glory, like MXPX and Bowling for Soup, have been known to kill it with their covers. New Found Glory just put out a 3rd one that has like Let It Go by Frozen and Eye of the Tiger by Survivor. But anyway, back to this song. They take it and make it one of their own. That weird time signature that's in the middle, completely gone. Who needs time for that when you have a fast song? But just the way they arrange it and the way that they play it is incredible. You've had to have heard it at some point in your life if you listen to pop punk music. Last but not least is Weezer covering Africa by Toto, if you didn't see this one coming, which is originally off of Toto's 1981 4th studio album entitled Toto 4. Now, Toto 4. This one's kind of funny because Weezer didn't intentionally want to cover this song. It was done by a fan-initiated social media campaign. It was released on May 29th, 2018. In December of 2017, Twitter user Weezer Africa, run by a 14-year-old girl from Cleveland, Ohio, tweeted to Rivers, the lead singer, guitarist of Weezer, "It's about time you bless the rains down in Africa." After much back and forth between Mary, the Weezer Africa Twitter handler person, and drummer Patrick Wilson of Weezer, the band released a cover of Toto's Rosanna, which is another one of their popular songs, as kind of a way to troll her, but then finally releasing the song in late 2018. It was kind of a huge blessing in disguise. It was the band's first Hot 100 hit since their 2009 song, I Want You To. Africa reached number 51 on the Hot 100 and peaked at number 1 on the Billboard Alternative charts in August of 2018, becoming the band's first number 1 single since their 2008 Pork and Beans. It's crazy what social media can do. Hey guys, and that was a list. I hope you liked them, and I'm going to leave all the links to all these songs, the originals and the covers, in the description below. If you want to see more covers from bands and stuff like this, let me know down in the comments and stuff. Yeah, and without further ado, let's roll that outro. Hey guys, now that we're at the end of the video, thank you for commenting, and subscribing. You can check out daily blogs on thepoppunkdad.com, which features daily reviews and interviews from awesome bands. Head on over to the Pop Punk Dad official merch shop, where you can buy cool things like that right there. It helps the channel out and lets me know that you love me. I have a weekly podcast called the Pop Punk Dadcast, which is on SoundCloud and iTunes now. Please subscribe. While you're at it, cruise around and check out other content on this channel. You can check out all my social medias, my IG, my FB, and my Twitter, at the Pop Punk Dad. And above all else, guys, stay pop punk. Later.